So I'm going to 452 Slocum Road.
Well, when I met Steve, I lived in New Bedford in the West End. He called me not too long ago, after 30 years. He says, I finally found you. I've been looking for you. Good to see you.
Great to see you. These are for you.
Oh, gee, thank you. What a day.
Come
We
on,
have this
me.
happen every day.
I didn't think I was ever going to meet you. I mean, that was the one thing that I said, you know, it'd be too difficult to do. So it, completely surprised me. The book that I really loved was Watership Down, though. And I didn't know if you had brought that to me deliberately, but it mirrored actually what I was going through, and I knew that at the time. So, what the rabbits did in Watership Down was they fought back every single way that they could while they were still trying to find home. So I said, well, that's what I'm going to do. But I remember all the details.
I would help anybody if I could.
Yeah. Well, where did that come from? I was always curious to know.
My parents were that way too.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Now, where are your parents from?
Turkey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Did they immigrate here?
Yeah.
Okay.
We lived out in New Yorker.
So you're first generation in this country.
We're happy. We've been
Amazing.
married over 50 years. And,
Wow.
Same guy. Still my best friend. I work with him 24 hours a day together. We work together.
At that age, you were probably the closest thing to a mother. I remembered how you looked at me all the time. Every time I was reading the book, and you never said much, but I could see how proud you were.
Yeah.
I could see how proud you were, and I would always hold it up whatever I was reading, and that told me that my life meant something, that it was worth something, even though the people around me was telling me the exact opposite. Nobody cared about me. But whenever I would see the two of you walking through the neighborhood, and I just remember thinking to myself, well, she cares. She cares. And I knew you cared because of not what you said, but by what you did. And that gave me what I needed to fight just one more day. Right at the point you came along, as strong-willed as I think I am, and as strong as I might think I am, I certainly look back and I was at my breaking point. Because as a child, you think nobody knows what's going on here. No one's helping you. No one's concerned your parents aren't here. So it wasn't just the books and the vision they gave me, it was just anybody doing something, like that, and how magical, that was. It just gives you a sense of the power of that kindness. I was in Indiana in 2006 it was, and I was telling this conference about you. So we're having dinner later on that night after the conference, and this judge says to his staff, he asked me, he goes, well, why are you here? And so I talked about the books giving me a vision of a life beyond the one at that house. So he turns to his staff and he says, okay, well, we're going to do for kids in Indiana what Mrs. Levin did for you. So that was in 2006. And here now in 2012, it has resulted in donations of 750,000 books that are going to kids in the state of Indiana because I told that story about you stopping to give me books. Now, if someone had asked me, and then people often do, would I travel this path all over again? And I absolutely would, because I wouldn't have Tanya, and I wouldn't have, and the same is true for you, right? Whatever sacrifices you made, you'd make them again, because look at what you have. And you've given me, and you continue to give me lessons of.
Well, I can see both of you are wonderful parents. And
Yeah.
you've got a good team.
Well, you were my first example of
All
that.
right, I'm glad
You were
I
my
was
very
born.
first example. So.
Best day of my life.
She's everything I thought she was. You know, her humility and her modesty. I mean, truly extraordinary, extraordinary people.